So I'm just going to take the political compass test everyone seems to be doing, and I want to see where I lie. Now, I just want to create my my absolutely ideal world. So completely out there. I like to envision myself as libertarian left, somewhere in that quadrant. So I'm just going to see where this tells me I am. It's going to be great. I'm a little skeptical. Well, if economic globalization is inevitable, it should primarily serve humanity rather than the interest of transnational corporations. What is this serve humanity stuff? No, it should serve no one. No, I strongly disagree. I'd always support my country, whether it was right or wrong. Well, I don't see what right or wrong has to do with any of it. The state is always right. So I'd always support it or face death. In my ideal society, granted, I would be the one running the state. Of course. No one chooses his or her country of birth, so it's foolish to be proud of it. Well, it's foolish to be proud of anything. Absolutely. Strongly agree. There is no place for pride in my future utopia. A race has many superior qualities compared with other races. I'm gonna go slight agree, because if you can have that sentiment, it means the other races haven't killed you yet. And if you're dead, then you can't hold that sentiment because you have no sentiment at all. So, it means you're still alive. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. I have no friends. Everyone is my enemy. So, strongly disagree. Military action that defines international law is sometimes justified. One, I don't like the concept of other nations. Two, it is always justified, so this is a flawed premise. Strongly disagree. There's now a worrying fusion of information and entertainment. This speaks so true to me. Both of those are terrible things, and I hate both, so I'm going to strongly agree. So, people are ultimately divided more by class than by nationality. Well, I'm going to say agree. I also don't believe in other nations. And the degree between the classes, everyone's going to struggle in my perfect utopia. So the class is going to be arbitrary, but some people will do better than others. Controlling inflation is more important than controlling unemployment. There will be no inflation porn in my utopia. So Xing out all of that is top priority. So I strongly agree. Because corporations cannot be trusted to voluntarily protect the environment, they require regulation. I'm going to say agree. Everyone's going to be regulated. From each according to his ability to each according to his need is a fundamentally good idea. Well, if there are people that need a bullet to the head, then it is up to somebody with good aiming skills, the ability to aim well, to make sure that bullet gets where it needs to be going. So, of course, I agree. It's a sad reflection on our society that something as basic as drinking water is now bottled, branded consumer product. The availability of clean drinking water is something I am not for. So, I strongly agree on that point. Land shouldn't be a commodity to be bought or sold. I'm going to agree. No one should be buying or selling anything in my utopia. It all belongs to the state. It is regrettable that many personal fortunes are made by people who simply manipulate money and contribute nothing to their society. I'm going to agree that it is regrettable anyone has a fortune. Protectionism is sometimes necessary in trade. You lost me at protect. So I strongly disagree. The only social responsibility of a company should be to deliver a profit to its shareholders. I guess I agree with that, whatever that profit may be. The rich are too highly taxed. No, I strongly disagree. People are not taxed enough. They should be physically, emotionally, and economically taxed. Those with the ability to pay should have the right to higher standards of medical care. Well, if you can make it your way to the top in my future utopia, you really should, be able to get antiseptic. That's all. So government should penalize businesses that mislead the public. Government should penalize everyone. A genuine free market requires restrictions on the ability of predator multinationals to create monopolies. Well, I don't want anyone to be free, and I like predators. So I don't really want to put restrictions on predators. So I'm going to disagree. The freer the market, the freer the people. I strongly agree and want neither. Abortion, when the woman's life is not threatened, should always be illegal. I strongly agree on this point. I stand with the Regressive Party. I am against abortion, but I am for killing babies. They're going to deliver that child into this world, and then if it's, population control necessitates, it will be smashed in the head with a rock. But it's very important that the mother undergoes the pain of childbirth. All authority should be questioned. I strongly disagree. That statement is, it's crazy. An eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. Strongly agree. We want a society that builds strong, competitive people. Taxpayers should not be expected to prop up any theaters or museums that cannot survive on a commercial basis. Fuck you. They're paying for whatever I want. Oh wait, no, that's a disagree. No, that's a strongly disagree. Schools should not make classrooms attendance compulsory. Well, there will be few schools in my future, but the ones that are there will be compulsory attendance if I decide so. So I agree. All people have their rights, but it is better for all of us that different sorts of people should keep to their own kind. Now, that is bullshit. If there is any unauthorized gatherings of people, the dogs will be unleashed upon them. So I'm going to strongly disagree. Good parents sometimes have to spank their children. Agree if they have the luxury of parents or children. It's natural for children to keep some secrets from their parents. I strongly agree on this point, which is why we'll also incentivize some children to peer on their child friends in order to give that information to the government. I am for establishing the child Stasi. Possessing marijuana for personal use should not be a criminal offense. I'm going to agree on this. At first I was like, I really don't want any reduction of pain in this society. But then I thought, it does make some people paranoid. And it will probably be more valuable than money. Any kind of relief from the pain. So it'd be fun for them to watch that. The prime function of schooling should be to equip the future generation to find jobs. I'm going to disagree. it is to teach obedience to the state. People with serious inheritable disabilities should not be allowed to reproduce. I mean, agree, but I'm taking a laissez-faire stance approach to that. So Darwinism in this society, and anyone who's severely disobedient. So if you can neither claw your way to the top or be a good sheep, you will be purged. The important thing for children to learn is to accept discipline. No, it's posture. There are no savage and civilized people, there are only different cultures. I'm going to agree with that, and like bacterial cultures, they will be purged, cleansed. Those who are able to work and refuse the opportunity should not expect society's support. Now, I disagree with that because I disagree with the statement that they will be able to refuse the opportunity. That's simply not an option. When you are troubled, it's better not to think about it, but to keep busy with more cheerful things. Well, okay. I mean, when you're toiling around in the dirt, hungry, it's probably better to think about it, the positive things in life. Someone else has it worse than you. So I'm going to agree. First-generation immigrants can never be fully integrated within their new country. They can be fully integrated into a mass grave. So I'm going to disagree with that. What's good for the most successful corporations is always ultimately good for all of us. Well, in my ideal society, my veritable utopia, if there's a successful strategy and someone's winning with it, you might want to look at them and see what they're doing, because it's probably a good strategy. So, I'm going to I'm just going to agree. Getting softer. No broadcasting institution, however independent of its content, should receive public funding. I strongly agree. I don't want any information, any news or entertainment going out anywhere. I've already made my stance on that clear. Our civil liberties are being excessively curbed in the name of counterterrorism. I disagree. They're not being curbed enough. A significant advantage of a one-party state is that it avoids all the arguments that delay progress in a democratic political system. Finally, someone gets it. Although the electronic age makes official surveillance easier, only wrongdoers need to be worried. I strongly agree, and also the weak. The death penalty should be an option for the most serious crimes. I strongly disagree. But the death penalty only applies to people, and so it doesn't really apply to human cattle, because they're not people, they're subhuman. So there would be no death penalty, but there would be the elimination of human cattle. In a civilized society, one must always have people above to be obeyed and people below to be commanded. I agree. Abstract art that doesn't represent anything shouldn't be considered art at all. I strongly disagree, and dystopic military juntas should be viewed as a form of performance art. It's a bit abstract, but that's my 2 cents. In criminal justice, punishment should be more important than rehabilitation. I agree. It is a waste of time to try and rehabilitate some criminals. I agree. Yeah. The business person and the manufacturer are more important than the writer and the artist. I disagree. They are all equally worthless before the state. Mothers may have careers, but their first duty is to be homemakers. I disagree. More human cattle. Multinational companies are unethically exploiting the plant genetic resources of developing countries. I disagree. There's not enough exploiting. And also, I disagree in developing countries. These are not my platform. Making peace with the establishment is an important aspect of maturity. I disagree. Uh, Living past age 13 is an important aspect of maturity. Astrology accurately explains many things. It explains when you're about to lose money from your wallet. So I agree. You cannot be moral without being religious. I will agree that in my society, being moral is probably not going to be a good strategy. Charity is better than social security as a means of helping the genuinely disadvantaged. I'm going to disagree. You just want to help yourself in my society. You're going to need it. Some people are naturally unlucky. Well, some people look promising and they're going to help, but there's really no guarantee of safety, so... it is important that my child's school instills religious values. Well, the state is God, so I strongly agree. Sex outside marriage is usually immoral. I'm going to disagree. It's a survival strategy. A same-sex couple in a stable, loving relationship should not be excluded from the possibility of child adoption. Stable, loving relationship. Well, I mean, there are going to be a lot of children without parents, so might as well, so I strongly agree. Pornography depicting consenting adults should be legal for the adult population. I strongly agree. What goes on in a private bedroom between consenting adults is no business of the state. Ooh! Fuck it. In my society, there will be cameras in all the bedrooms, and they will tape what goes on in the private bedroom, where it's going to be uploaded to the internet, so that everyone can watch that, amateur porn. Which means everyone's contributing to society with their own homemade amateur porn. And it also forces the people who want to be professional porn actors to get really good at their crafts, to make themselves distinguish from the rest, so they can get really good at what they do. So I completely, strongly disagree. No one can feel naturally homosexual. That's trivial. These days, openness about sex has gone too far. Well, because sex is going to be broadcast everywhere. People need to up their sex game. So people need to get better at the sex. So it hasn't gone far enough. So I strongly disagree. Now let's see where I stand. Oh, look. I'm a centrist. I'm a filthy sitter in the middle. Man. I guess that just means I'm boring. Just all these tame positions. Fuck.